Hello, dear friends. Welcome on a live conversation on ALLATRA TV Creative Society channel. My name is Olga. I'm your host today, and my beautiful co-host today is Talia Powers from Jamaica. In our
Hi, Olga.
Yeah, nice to meet you. And
One
in
love.
these programs, we get to meet new people in order to learn how do they envision a creative society of the future, the new format that is an alternative to the consumer format of society that has come to dead end. And this program today is a part of the Creative Society project that was launched on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement. Our goal now is to ask all people on Earth, how do they envision the creative society, the world where every person can feel safe and comfortable? Please, we invite you to check more at our website, allatraunites.com. And to reach this goal, we use the rule of 6 handshakes. It says that we all are connected through 5 or even less social connections. And we asked our guests in our broadcasts to invite their friends to share the idea of the creative society. And our broadcast today is a proof that the rule of 6 handshakes works. And please welcome our today's guest, amazing Ruah Ru from Jamaica. Ruah is a recording artist, a songwriter, a holistic therapist, and an inspirational blogger. She manages House of Rare Music that donates all proceeds from her music sales to special social and community projects through arms of Ruah charity foundations. Welcome, your Ruah.
Hello, Olga, and hi, everybody in the Creative Society and the wider world. It's really great for me to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, like when we join our broadcast, we are already building the creative society, not only talking about it. Yeah. And so please, can you tell us a bit more about yourself, about your art, about what you do?
Yeah, well, I grew up in the beautiful island of Jamaica. One of 8 children. I don't know if you can see the pictures of my parents behind me, of my father and mother. My father was a reverend, and so I grew up in church, and my mother was his support. And I grew up with that kind of stability, emotionally, and creatively. My family was really very, very creative. We sang a lot and that kind of thing. So my social consciousness and my connection to the wider world was formed, at home and in church. And so I have grown into just representing those truths that I learned as a child in the things that I do every day. So I do music. I believe in the holistic way of life, so I do holistic medicine. I do fashion design. I believe that we are here to contribute to each other's life. So I do charity. I try to express as much of all that I am in the world around me. So,
Thank you so much. And also, may I ask a question to Talia? Like we asked you to invite some person to talk about the Creative Society, and why did you invite Ruah? Maybe you can tell us also.
Well, she's my friend, and I think she's an inspirational human being who has a lot to offer to the world, and so I'd like to help showcase what she does to the world to propel her journey forward.
Yes, thank you so much. And it is like a clear example of show me who is a friend and we'll know who you are. Yeah, truly. Yeah.
True. Talia is an awesome individual also, and so when she, I think we have inspired each other. I tell her all the time just how amazing she is, and great inspiration.
No, you are amazing.
Okay.
So it's all love. It's all love and positivity and support that we give to each other, and to Olga, now that you are in our circle of
Yeah. We also invite our
Absolutely.
viewers to watch a beautiful broadcast with Talia. It was called Live in One Love, that you can also find on our channel. And continuing our conversation, Ra, I would also love to ask you that you do music, but you also do charity with your music. And please, can you share with our viewers how did you start your charity work? What
Yeah.
inspired you? Maybe who inspired you?
My inspiration began from home, actually. It was something that I grew up seeing around me. In our small Jamaican communities, family and helping each other was always a part of how we expressed love. We were always sharing, whether it was something from, a tree, mango, whatever it is that you had, you were sharing. And so that understanding of the importance of sharing was always a part of my life. As I became an adult, on my own journey of self-exploration and self-knowing, I came to the truth, my personal truth. And one of them was that my contribution in this earth, my time here, should be spent doing the things that I love doing and then sharing and helping as many persons as I can while I'm doing those things. And so lifting each other up, helping each other out of the situations that we may be in, which challenge us, is part of the responsibility of those of us who can. And so it's easy to find ways to share. I mean, you only need to walk out your door or be available for a phone call or find a group of people who are interested in a particular area and help. And so in my own journey, I have come across so many persons in every aspect of everything that I do, that provide me with that opportunity to just give back and to share. And so I donate from my music to charity. I try to do as much as I can for artists like myself in the industry who need a platform. So I create platforms for them to perform on, opportunities for them to earn, all kinds of things, and it just comes very naturally to me. So yeah, it's a part of
So, Roy,
everything. Yes,
What inspires you? What is your main source of inspiration?
I my spirituality actually. When I was growing up, finding your own identity in this wider world is a very it can consume your life. It helps to define who you are. And in my journey, understanding who I am as a spiritual being, as an emotional being, as a feminine being was important to me. And so I read a lot. I had the foundation of spirituality given to me by my upbringing. And so those elements came together to form who I am now and continue to inspire what I want to represent in the earth. So spirituality,
Yes.
simple things like kindness and communication and generosity, and those things are really very important to me and form the foundation of everything that I do. So yeah.
I was on air yesterday on the radio and I played your song. And on this platform, I would love if you could showcase for us, put your voice on display, put the essence of who Ruach is. We want to hear you. We want the world to hear you.
Oh,
We want to hear what you sound like on your deck.
Talia, you put me
Oh,
on the spot
no.
because
Just a little bit, just a little, just a substantive change to
I
Jamaica. Just a
wouldn't dare ask in this, but it is such an amazing idea, Talia.
yeah. All right, let's see. There's a song that I love. It's called Watering Eye. It was written, and I love to tell the story because I write songs that express as much of the truth that I have learned um in the world. And so Watering Eye is all about understanding that the things that we go through really help us to evolve into our better self. So it encourages you not to be afraid of your challenges, but embrace them. and
Yes.
learn from them. So watering, Talia, I'll go and get you for this.
You're going to thank me for it.
I'm gonna find you. All right, so it goes. Every day when I wake, I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. Yes, I wonder why so many youths try rocks for pillows, concrete for bed. Hey, that's it. No more singing for the morning.
Come on. Come on. That's too short. I mean, you know, you're blessed with the gift of impartation.
Yeah.
You know, I think perhaps persons would call it anointing. Each individual comes with one or several gifts that they have, and it is so natural for them. And what it does is impact lives. And this is one of your gifts, truly. You know,
Yes,
you're blessed
yes,
to do music.
yes.
And yeah, I'm so happy to know you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Talia. And I always encourage persons when you're searching for purpose, you don't really need to look too far outside of the skill set or the talent set that you've been given. Because in those things that we take for granted about ourselves, our ability to laugh, our ability to cook, whatever it is that you are instinctively and naturally drawn to do, there is where you can begin to express purpose. And so it is about so when you understand this, it becomes so much easier for you to then relate that purposefulness in the earth and use your talents to really be as much of a blessing to the lives of others as you
Well,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you know, one of the 8 foundations of the Creative Society states the development of personality.
yeah,
And that before we even get to personality, we have to find out who we are.
who you are.
It is a
Yeah,
number one question that each human has to ask himself or herself.
right.
Who am I?
Yeah. It
Once
is
you
There is a
define that,
song, Who Am I? I remember that there is a really beautiful song, Who Am
yes,
I by Rahru. And I would encourage our viewers like to find this music. It's available on YouTube and just listen to this like powerful message.
yes,
And also like we'll move to the 8 foundations a bit later and
yes.
like talking about this inspiration, this finding one's purpose. How do you think, how much is it important to create such conditions in the world where every person can find his own path? Because today, education is not available to everyone. Like self-development is not available to everyone. People spend so much time like working and caring about their like basic needs that should be fulfilled. And so how do you think it is important to create conditions for this?
I think that I think that we take ourselves and each other for granted. And I have in my own journey, I have found that even in the absence of the effort of others to create a space for me in which I feel totally defined, even that obstacle became an opportunity for me to discover self. And so what I want to encourage and share to everyone is regardless of where you are, regardless of the advantages or disadvantages that you are now experiencing in your life, in your experience lies the opportunities that you need to grow, whether they are positive or negative. So and this is one of the wonderful things about being human. And this is one of and this is why we are still so resilient as human beings, in spite of our history, in spite of the wars, in spite of the challenges, in spite of the obstacles, we continue to live, to strive, to grow, to desire, to become, to evolve, to create. And so the question may then be, we don't, I think what I'm trying to say is we don't need to sanitize our world. We don't need to sanitize ourselves in an effort to create an opportunity. We are opportunity in motion.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so what I would want to what I would want to take out of the equation, however, is opposition to recognizing the value of each person. So take out of the equation all of the negativity. Let's take out of the equation of our lives and our experiences greed and hate and violence and things that rob us, you know, of of life. And infuse instead positive things, kindness, generosity, love, um, and see what happens. That's so in my own journey, it was actually the most negative experiences that prepared me to discover self. And so I just want to encourage everybody again, wherever you are in your life. Everything doesn't need to be perfect for you to realize who you are. You can, in those situations of challenge or lack or disappointment or disadvantage, begin to ask the questions that will cause the evolution internally, and then begin to express those things externally. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, the evolution of a person. Thank you, because, one of the mottos of this movement, of this project, Creative Society, is that humanity doesn't need revolution. Humanity needs evolution. So, from the evolution of every person starts, the evolution of the entire humanity.
Yes, yes, yes. Agreed. Agreed. We don't need. Okay, in spite of all of the wars that we have experienced, all of the political wars, all of the family feuds, we continue to be. We continue to be. So it says that we have within us, instinctively, naturally, even in the face of opposition, we have the ability to change and to evolve and to continue to become. And this is what gives me hope about everything that's going on in the world right now and everything that we're experiencing, in spite of all that we have gone through as a people in the earth, regardless of the color of our skin, regardless of our individual situations, we continue to strive, we continue to invent, we continue to create, And so, realizing the vision of a creative society is really, for me, in my mind, a very natural and easy evolution, as long as we encourage the process.
Well, as long when we get to the realization that we're energy and we were born, I mean, animate and inanimate objects, it doesn't really matter. Everything carries energy. We were born to live. Life is on
Yes,
our side. We were born to live and
yes,
never die.
yes.
And in essence, we really don't die
We really
because
don't.
the energy is still here.
The energy is still here. It just moves from one form to
So,
the next. And one of the things that I discovered, which was really very surprising to me, is that all things are made of the same components at its core, and it's
mm,
just the accumulation of how these forms of matter connect that
mm,
distinguish one thing from the next. And so,
yes.
at our core, we are all the same. We are all energy. We are all connected, and it's about recognizing that truth
Mm,
and living in it to its fullest as it defines itself in your own life. So I'm connected to everybody on the planet. We are all connected.
yeah,
I may not have ever
absolutely.
seen you. I may not have ever spoken to you, but
Mhm.
those things that affect you affect me because
Yeah,
we are. Yeah.
yeah, man. And one excuse me, awareness that we need to bring out and put across is for man to realize himself.
Yeah.
One Once we have a realization of our internal power and the
Yes.
extremity of what we possess as
Yes,
energy, then we'll
yes,
realize we are affecting everything and everyone every day, every second.
around, yes.
Once we
One
get to
of
that
the things,
understanding, I think that is where we need to start,
yeah,
edifying the world about
yeah,
the role that they play, because some people just think that they're insignificant and what they do doesn't matter. It
yeah.
does. It
It
affects
does
something and
matter.
someone.
Yeah, there are no accidents. There are very few. Well, let me say, there. In terms of life and the
Yes.
opportunity to be born and to exist, there are no accidents.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And yes, this journey to evolution challenges us to embrace these truths. Our thoughts are powerful. Our
Yes.
voices are powerful. Our emotions are powerful. Expressed or unexpressed, they still have power to
Yes.
affect the world, to affect this body, and then to affect the world that surrounds us. And so recognizing our truth and our power is also a very, very important part in the evolution of self and in the embracing of a holistic approach to life that will encourage all life, not just my life, but all life, you know.
Yeah.
And
It
of
is
course,
it.
this is
Yeah.
fundamental in the creation of the creative society that we're seeking to have.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
understand, for every person to understand that everyone has this potential, because like that's actually like the goal of our project. Someone can say, just talking to people, it is really much more, because there are so many people, like milliards, billions of people sitting there and like thinking that what can I do alone? And it's
yes,
like reaching out to people and connecting
yeah,
us all, collecting on the
yeah,
people, and like telling them that everyone has this inside. And so, okay, moving like our whole conversation is about the creative society, but also talking about the same intention of the humanity as a whole. We need to be united by one goal. And
yeah,
if
Mhm.
you want to bring change to this society, that really needs a change, we have to be united by a single vision. And such a vision at our platform is implemented through the 8 foundations of the Creative Society. You can check them at our website, ALLATRAUNITES.com. And now we'll ask our technical support to show us these 8 foundations, to put them on screen. There are 8 foundations, but they are truly like one
one.
holistic document. The pillars on which we can build this bridge, this like new format of the world. Yes, and so as you can see, the main foundations are human life, human safety,
Human freedom.
human freedom, transparency and openness of information for all, creative ideology, development of personality, and justice and equality, and self-governing society. And my question to you, like first to Rach and then to Talia, is how do you think if we implement these 8 foundations in our society, what changes can this bring? You may talk in general or maybe from the perspective of your field. How can it change our life?
Um, I can use my own journey, my own
Mhm.
experience in this body I grew up as an example of how truth changes. It recognizing first my own rights to these liberties that are mentioned in the eighth foundation is important. Fortunately or unfortunately, the structure of the world that we live in, the structure that we have allowed to be implemented around us, deny us access to these truths. It would want to educate us away from embracing knowledge of self, respect of all life, respect of these natural liberties. Somewhere in the construct of the things that we now call our society, we have allowed ourselves to be told that liberty is not given to everybody, that freedom and creativity and personality and abundance is not available to all of us. And so this conversation that we're having is so ancient. It is older than everybody on the planet. It is so ancient. And if we go back to its origins and we look at how the world coexists, everything else on the planet, and even the planets themselves coexist and support and nurture each other. For some reason, we have made the mistake as a collective humanity of choosing to say to ourselves that these liberties do not belong to everybody. And so the journey is back to truth and back to self. And then from self, understanding that the liberties that I desire for myself, I should also equally desire for everybody else. There is life is inexhaustible. Opportunity, abundance, wealth is inexhaustible. No one person in their lifetime can honestly consume all of the resources that we have been given to thrive in. And so to be afraid that it will be exhausted is embracing a lie and is embracing something that is not true of everything that we see around us. So it is important. It's important that we continue conversations like this to encourage each of us, wherever it is that we have been socialized, wherever it is that we find ourselves, whatever emotional, mental, spiritual, physical place that we find ourselves in, to ask ourselves the questions that need to be asked and to begin to experience truth and begin to experience love. Love. I think the foundation of what you have listed as your foundations for the Creative Society are actually saying love. This is how love defines itself. Love allows all life to live, to thrive, to be creative, to cultivate, to imagine, to grow. Love supports you. And so love and loving self, loving others, loving the world without fear is really what this journey back to truth is all about.
Yeah, thank you so much for such an input. Yeah, so true that all of the foundations could be described with one word, love. But it is like something that we can feel from the inside. But sometimes people with the analytical mindset, they need like the principles, and so like some people just need to describe them what love is, because when you love each other, you will preserve each other's life as your own, and you'll respect each other's safety, and you'll respect freedom, and you will be open and transparent, and like love is so true. Love embraces all of the 8 foundations, and
it does, yes. And this is why I'm so excited that we're having this conversation. And this is why I continue to be hopeful about humanity. And this is why I'm happy that we're here in this moment, sharing it together, where I can say, Olga, I have never met you face to face, but I love you. I love you. And I appreciate all, and Talia, I love you too. And all the persons behind the scenes, because our intention the intent that brought us together, it was to foster and create opportunities for us to connect and to share and to express these truths as we have discovered them in our individual lives, and hope that as we generate this energy, it becomes something bigger than ourselves. It reaches out and affects others. And that's a huge thing, and that's a wonderful thing to be doing. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. So thank you for inviting share with it. Yeah.
I think that the Creative Society, we're just going back to the foundation,
Yeah.
to where it all began, because I think we're born and formed and shaped in love. And the
Yeah.
idea of our creator was for us to
Yeah.
have access to all that is life.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think we're stripped, of some of these things along the way because of the greed. And I think greed and all of these other, hateful things that men do to each other, it is a form of ignorance. Because if
Right.
we understood the
Yeah.
full, the real purpose of what life is about, then would understand that it is love. Everything is love. Love is foundation from when
Everything is
people.
love. Everything is love. And even intellect is love. And Olga said something really very interesting. Those of us who are intellectual, and those of us who love to explore and examine and define things,
Mhm,
need this conversation, need the words to connect to each other, need definition of things. And so for some of us, it's easier to embrace this energy we call love. But it's all part of the journey that we can collectively do together. And so to the intellectuals, I say, the definition is necessary. The words and the conversations are necessary. This conversation that we're having with each other
mhm,
is very necessary. For the creative, I would say your art is necessary. Your use of color, your use of fabric, your use of sound is necessary to create this vibration that creates change and growth. And so and that too is what love is all about. So science and technology and the way we use it is also an extension of the expression of community and connectivity and love. We can choose to use it positively or negatively. And so we have so much power. We have so much power that it is amazing to me, every day that I wake up, just how powerful we are.
mhm. But
Yeah.
definitely, before we close, I mean, I would definitely and I will continue to use my platform to encourage mankind to liberate their minds,
Yes,
because we have gone in some kind of a hypnosis or a mental blockage, you know,
yes,
that
yes,
that isn't allowing him to think creatively, to think
yeah,
in the form of abundance, to think unlimited, to think that it is his birthright to be here. You have a right to be here. You have a
yeah,
right to function at your optimal. You have a right to all the things that you desire. You have a
yeah,
right to life and living,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I agree with you, Talia. And fortunately or unfortunately, even the obstacles that we have given to each other and to ourselves to overcome can prepare for us this remarkable, interesting, awesome journey back to truth. And so I would just like to encourage everyone that's watching this to start your journey. You know, and begin to ask yourselves the question, who am I is a good place to start. Who am I? And what does that definition of myself mean to the world around me? You know, everything that we are is powerful and has potential to create change. And as we relearn, I think this is what this whole process is about: relearning these truths, relearning the power of it, relearning the power of forgiveness, relearning the power of community and connectivity, relearning
Mhm.
that we are more than what we see. All of these things, collectively come together ultimately the place that we all desire to go back to. A place where, regardless of the color of my skin, where it on the planet that I was born, my gender, I have value, and I am infused with value from others because they understand that we all are valuable. And that's the journey that we're on now. And again, so thank you to the Creative Society for creating a space where we can have this conversation and help each other on that journey. That's what it's about. We're helping each other to get
But I
back
think
to.
yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, and like about the value of each person that you told, like what really resonates to me now is like the first, maybe even the foremost foundation of the eight. It is the first one, human life. I'll now ask my technical support to put it on screen. The first foundation, and just to read it out loud, that the human life is the highest value. Life of any human has to be protected as one's own. The goal of society is to ensure and guarantee the value of each human's life. There is not and never can there be anything else more valuable than a human's life. If one human is valuable, then all people are valuable. It is basically like
Yeah,
all that you have been talking about and what we've talked
we
about in our
talked about.
broadcast.
And you know, like it is very important that we have this conversation. And so I can't say it enough. Thank you for creating the platform where we can have this conversation, where people from all over the world can connect with similar intent. Because it helps us through our own personal journeys, and it helps us to be, for instance, being isolated here in Jamaica, a land of persons of my color. I may not have exposure to persons from the Ukraine. You know, and it's interesting that we can connect on a similar emotional, mental, and intellectual level where we all desire the same things. And so it says to me, at the core of all of us, regardless of where we are, who we think we are designed to connect to each other and to love each other, you know. And so and that's what it's all about, coming back to understanding that we are here to love each
Yeah, yeah, it is really important to understand that the idea of the creative society is it is not something new that like we just invented. It is
other.
like returning to the roots that everyone like feels and resonates with. And
Yes.
really, we have done so many interviews, and there are so many ahead. And we have met no person that would not agree and that would not support like this idea. And talking
Yes.
about the importance of connecting, like coming back to the rule of six handshakes that we mentioned in the beginning, like Rach, whom would you like to invite to our next broadcast so we can talk again about the Creative Society? With whom you would like to talk about this idea?
I would like to invite, you know, and this was kind of hard for me because there's so many persons that I would want to share this opportunity with. And I can think of two people immediately that come to mind. And I don't know which one of them to choose, but
You can name two. Okay, you try to reach to two people. Why not?
all right. Well, one of the persons is a wonderful human being who has been a huge support in my own life. And his name is Wayne McIntosh. And I would also like to invite a good friend of mine. Her name is Michelle. Talia, I wonder if you know anybody named Wayne. What's his
Yes, yes, that's why I'm laughing. Yes, I think he
Yeah,
loved it. I think he'd love it.
yes, yes.
Just before you said it, I thought of him actually. Yeah, frequency.
And unless I mean, this, you may not know Olga, but Wayne is Talia's husband. And,
Okay.
and we have known each other for years, and, you know, supporting each other spiritually, emotionally, you know, you're praying each other up, and, you know, just being as positive as we can. pouring into each other's lives. And so, you know, I mean, he's the first person that popped into my mind, and I hope you don't mind that I'm sharing with the Creative Society. But yeah.
Now I don't know whom I should ask to co-host this show. If you'd like, maybe two of you. To have a family broadcast. Yeah, thank you so much for such a friendly and such an inspired interview. I think our time, we are running out of time, and so we would like to invite all of our viewers also to, if you'd like to participate in our another broadcast, please write to the email info@allatraunites.com. You'll find it below this video in description. And also to support the idea of the Creative Society, share it with all of your friends and people around you. You can share these broadcasts and other videos with 2 hashtags, ALLATRAUnites and Creative Society. Share them in your social video, in your social media. Because like the sooner all people learn about this idea and understand that we can truly live in the Creative Society, the sooner we'll have it and we'll live in it. And dear Roa and Talia, it was such a pleasure talking to you, meeting my new friends from Jamaica. Maybe there's something you would like to wish to our viewers in the end.
Oh, well, yes, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Roa?
Oh, well, I'm just encouraging the world to be optimistic and be self-introspective. Remember, man can do what man has done. We all can do everything that we desire. So, first question to ask, who am I?
Who am
One love.
Yeah, and I would just love to say to everyone, wherever you are on the planet, whenever it is that you are watching this, whoever you are, male or female, whatever the color of your skin, you have value, you know. And I want to encourage you that even in the face of those things that you find most challenging, lay opportunities for you to evolve and to grow into becoming your best self. So embrace all of the things that are happening in your life, and evolve. You know, practice forgiveness, practice love, and connect with people as we are connecting here on this platform. Reach out and find somebody to connect. You know, and from me, lots of love to all of you.
Yeah. So please, and our dear viewers, you can visit the website ALLATRAUnites.com, and there you'll see a red button, join, that you can click on, and you can join our projects. You can fill a small form and stay with us. Thank you.
One love.